Let's call the meeting to order.
I need to grab something from the file real quick. Sorry.
Welcome, everybody. Full house here. So, do we want to start with introductions over there with you, Tracy?
Oh,
Yes,
sure.
you move in.
Tracy Hensley, City Council President and liaison to this commission.
I moved in
Deanna
Long
Paul
Beach.
Clark, Vice Chair.
I was waiting for Creighton to all, actually, I'm Brian, member.
Clint Coleman, traffic safety member.
Spencer Pollock, County Public Works.
Intervention.
Oh, Chris Davis, police officer, police department.
Tina Schiff, Chair.
Jenny Driscoll, member.
Linda Gustafson, neighbor.
Gary Bryant, member of the Transportation Safety Committee. Roger Braun, Holly.
Jen Gorski, resident of Holly Street.
And Brianna.
I'm Brianna. I'm the planning liaison for the committee.
Okay.
And Esty is another neighbor of Holly Street, and she just went out to her car for a minute. She'll be back momentarily.
Okay. So did everybody get a chance to look over the minutes?
I know the minutes from November.
I second them, but I would like to make an amendment. I got an email from one of our guests that attended last month's meeting, Jeanne Jameson, and she corrected me on, I misspelled her name. And so I just want to go on record that her name's spelled Jeanne Jamison, so I apologize for that error. I second that motion.
The entry says the motioner needs to accept the amendment.
I move that we accept the amendments.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Right, citizen input.
Okay. And Spencer, could you bring that PowerPoint up, please? Okay, great. And so I'm Jen Gorski. I live on Holly Street in between 9th and 10th Avenues. And we have some neighbors of Holly Street. We have 3 neighbors here. One neighbor who couldn't make it has a sick 4-year-old right now, and other neighbors that have young children and full-time jobs that couldn't be here but support our efforts. And so this presentation is based upon information from the traffic study data that Tina forwarded me that you guys had done on this street. And so is my
It was plugged in. I don't know. It was-
okay, there I got it. Okay, I don't have laser. There you go. Okay, very good. All right. Okay, so the purpose of this presentation is to share what residents experience daily on this block, just to review that because we already presented that earlier this year, to share radar data for North Holly Street based upon that traffic study, to clarify how transportation experts from the National Highway Administration interpret the findings, and to request future committee discussion and review. So what our neighborhood has already reported is consistent speeding from vehicles traveling on Holly Street and between 9th and 10th Avenues. We have difficulty entering and exiting our driveways safely. Roger here has to drive his car over to collect his mail rather than walk
I'm back across the street, if I may, or get it when I come home from the store.
Yeah.
It's easier for me, when I'm on a crutch, to just pull up with my vehicle and get it, and then pull in the driveway.
Okay, so we have safety concerns for seniors, our children, our pets, and also the pedestrians that frequent this road. Vehicles don't slow down near parked cars on Holly Street, and there are very high traffic volumes combined with the speeding. And so this is a video here. Let's see, can you start that? And so this, before you start, this is a video that Esty took, and that was mid-June of this year of an accident that happened on Holly Street. She just happened to be hearing it and going outside and filming it. So it's pretty rough footage. And just keep that in mind, it wasn't really intended to be a presentation, but we just thought that this would be helpful. Okay, Spencer, go ahead.
Yes, and his truck flipped over,
Yeah,
like,
it's
that's like 9 feet from my bedroom window,
What
where
time of
his truck.
day or night was it?
This was probably like 3 o'clock, because he was about to he was crossing over on 10th, like going towards the Catholic church. And he was trying to get onto the freeway when that car was speeding down Holly and hit him on the back as he was crossing. He hit him on the back of the truck, which made the truck.
At 3:00 AM or PM?
3 a.m.
She just happened to hear it. go
Yes,
off.
I mean, how can you miss it, right? I'm like, and that's not the first, there's been a lot of them, and I had,
Many.
yes, and you
We live kitty corner from each other.
you can't miss it, the noise is so loud, you just feel like it's like, I don't know, it's just like a gunshot, or probably louder. I mean,
just
like I
being
said,
loud.
it's 9 feet from my window.
I live at 11th in Holly, and I'm pulling across. This guy's coming down the wrong side of the road. Some guy in his pickup truck. Where did this guy go? I kept watching. He went by some pedestrian. I mean, yeah, it's nuts. Thank you for sharing this, and for sure.
Okay, so the study overview, by the way, thank you for ordering the best study that you could have ordered. And that was so great. It took place over a week period of time in April 22nd to 28th. And what's so great about it is it logged every vehicle that was going down the street. It captured everything day, night, 24 hours. So total vehicles is just under 31,700. Wow, that's a lot of cars. Our posted speed limit is 25 miles per hour, residential area. The average speed from the data showed 28.5 miles per hour. But noted that there's 82 to 85% of the drivers that exceeded the speed limit on all days of the study. The maximum recorded speed was 57 miles an hour on April 23rd. So this graph was compiled from the data that was from the traffic study. On the y-axis in red is percent of drivers that are driving over the speed limit, and it ranges from 70% to 90% at the top. On the bottom x-axis are the numbers of days, the days of the week and the dates. And on the other y-axis is the speed in miles per hour. And so you can see this blue, well, first of all, you can see where the 25 miles an hour is. And then you see the blue line, which shows the average speed, which is 28.5 miles per hour. This red line over here is the percent of drivers that are over the speed limit. And so that ranges, like I said before, 82 to 85% of all drivers that are driving over the speed limit. And then this top black line shows the maximum speed. And so even though the one speed that recorded on the traffic data was 57 miles an hour, we're getting comparable speeds every day of the week from 50 to 57 miles per hour every day of the week on the traffic study. So are pictures taken of those people? It was like a radar that clocked all of the vehicles, so everything was recorded accurately. And so this 85th percentile speed is a metric that the National Highway Administration and traffic engineers use that guide their recommendations. And so this is listed as 32 miles per hour on the traffic study data. And so Holly Street geometry is actually responsible for encouraging these speeds of 7 miles per hour and higher, that from what the posted speed limits are. Some things about Holly Street is that it's a wider street from Territorial to Knightsbridge, which is the route that a lot of people take to get out to I-5. There are no stops. And so when there's no stops, people tend to go faster. And it is a collector street as well, which is just a funnel for the people from other residential areas going out to where they are commuting to. And so the Federal Highway Association safety targets are for 25 miles an hour in our residential zone. That's what they recommend. And so they also recommend that traffic calming is needed when the speeds exceed 5 miles per hour above our posted speed of 25. So seeing as this 85th percentile speed is 32, guidance from the Federal Highway Association is that we need traffic calming measures taken. So let's look at some of the key findings from the study. Traffic volumes. We have, on average, 4,500 vehicles per day. Commonly have more vehicles on Friday than on the weekend. Our highest peak is at 3 to 6 p.m. every day. And we have a lower peak during like the morning commutes, around 6 to 8. We have new housing developments that are being put in on Territorial Street, community that's already had the infrastructure developed, but they're adding on more houses. And we have a new housing development infrastructure just being put in right now. So more housing is going to be built in there. And Territorial marks the urban growth boundary. So expansion and more traffic and more housing developments are imminent on Holly Street. We have a new senior center that's being developed at the corner of Holly and Territorial as well, which is also going to increase traffic for the future. So data to put this presentation together came from the Federal Highway Administration US limits, 2 speed setting guidance, the traffic calming e-primer, and the speed management manual from 2023. What this means for our block. Our roadway design and different parameters about Holly Street encourages higher speeds, which, you know, this 32 miles per hour of the 85th percentile metric, it being higher than 25, people are more inclined to go faster on a road. We are in a residential use area, all our driveways go directly onto the street, and combined with that and this high traffic volume, there's a mismatch here. And it has to do with our safety and the safety of the people that go on our street. And traffic volume will increase for the future. So our request to the committee is to review North Holly, particularly, or at least including 9th and 10th Street for traffic calming treatments, to consider engineering evaluation, and add this, please add this to your future agenda discussions. Any questions for either me or for any of the neighbors on North Holly?
Well, like I said, my name is Esty. I've lived there for over 25 years and on 10th and Holly. And so I've seen the traffic grow. It's not slowing down. And what a lot of people are also coming off the freeway and getting onto Knightsbridge to cut through Holly and to get onto Territorial to get to Oregon City, and that's bringing a lot of our traffic also. But it's not slowing down, you know, it feels like I'm living on a freeway, which, you know, we knew the traffic was going to be there when we moved into our house, but we didn't expect it to be like this. And I think, I'm pretty sure Holly used to be, I think it's 10th and Holly, like going towards the Catholic Church used to be a dead end road, and now it's open, so that's bringing more traffic through there. I am concerned for, you know, a lot of our safeties backing up onto 10th and Holly or on Holly. One of us, you know, we may end up in a car accident, which I have almost been into a car accident on 10th and Holly coming home from work. And there was a car that went straight through 10th and didn't even stop. Luckily, I'm a slow driver anyways, and I do slow down on my street. And he just sped right through there. Like
Without stopping.
without stopping. And that's what
Right
they
through the
do.
stop sign.
And that's what they do on 10th. So I feel, because I hope that you will consider, I know I said this last time, but speed bumps will keep the traffic moving and not cause congestion on the either 10th or Holly. I think it should be put on both sides on 10th, on each corner of 10th and each side on Holly before you get to that cross. You know where it crosses from 10th and Holly. Consider one at least on each side. You know, we don't need 5 like Birch got. I know Birch got 5, and because I went through there a couple of times, like I'm counting them. I'm like, okay, this is 5. We just need 1 to, you know, wake them up and say, hey, you got to slow down on this intersection. Just to keep it safer.
I've noticed since they had the bridge closed for 2 months working on it, we don't have the volume,
Yeah.
but we still have the speed.
Mhm,
Yeah,
right.
the volume has really dropped down. That's been great, but the speed has. And they come right out of town and head down Holly to Territorial and down that way. Because the residents down there and all the housing down that way, that seems to be a faster way to get there on Holly than go through town to get to Territorial for the block they want to get to.
Mhm.
That's the problem I had to say.
Yeah, I have a question for the president. Do you happen to notice directionally if the speeders are coming into town from Territorial or heading out of town towards Territorial? Is there a difference in the volume of speeders, or is it?
No.
I've sat there and watched the same car go by 4 times. I go into town, back home to the house, back into town, and back.
Okay.
I'm going, what did you forget in town? You gotta make 4 trips.
I almost filmed it this morning because you could see the traffic and I almost filmed it, but I'm like, okay, I gotta get there. I was running late too, you know, to get here.
Yeah, it's kind of a double whammy there, because not just people coming from Oregon City down Territorial and into the neighborhoods, but people coming off I-5, coming up Knightsbridge Road, and I've watched them. They're slow when they get to the 25 thing, coming up Knightsbridge Road, but then they start gradually speeding up, and then when they hit Holly, it's all free.
All free.
Yeah, it's like they speed right there if they want to.
I would like to speak to the issue of the bigness of the road that you spoke to and you spoke regarding. Humanly speaking, we know that a person with no boundaries acts differently than a person with boundaries. And that is very obvious in all of our lives. We all knew people that have never had boundaries and what their behavior is like. The same goes with the physical implications of road boundaries. I've noticed that so many of the streets in Canby have bicycle lanes. Holly, there's so much bicycle traffic
well, not this time of year when it's so rainy, but so much bicycle traffic, groups of people, and there is no bicycle lane. There's no parking lane. There's no consistent sidewalks. And when we have like the parades and stuff, people are walking right down the street and there's no sidewalks consistently. So, and we have one in front of our house that is about 45 years old, I think 50 years old, that needs to be torn out and redone. Because it's so, but people walk and then come over and walk on our little sidewalk. We really need that sense, like you were talking about, the sense that there's safety for people that are on the roads, and then a signal to the traffic that there are people on this road and cars parked that I need to be careful of.
Yeah, proof of that is on North Maple Street, near Maple Street Park. When the sidewalks went in and the street got choked down, I gotta believe that's improved speeding behavior considerably. But that may not be a street that's eligible to be choked down because of.
Not to the same extent.
Yeah, but that did make a
But
huge difference.
yes, I believe that it would.
We have all cameras issue.
Yeah, you really worked hard on that.
They did.
So
I
we,
think a combination of things.
we appreciate very much your interest and involvement in this because it takes, as you know, it takes time
Yeah,
to find solutions and, you know, it's hard because we can't solve every problem, but we certainly try to do our best at them. And this has been one that's kind of a work in progress. And we certainly hear you and understand your concerns and really, if I ask from an officer's perspective, what are your thoughts on North Holly with the increased developments and higher volumes of traffic?
To your point, I feel like speed is significantly more of an issue on Holly than it is on Territorial, which from an outside perspective, you probably wouldn't think would be the case if you're not from here, but it seems like that's the case. I agree. I mean, I try to make it a point, you guys, you're not home all the time, I'm sure, but I try to make it a point to stay there as often as I can when I'm free, just because I know that's a problem area for a lot of people. But I agree, and it does feel like a wide stretch of road right there, and I'm sure that probably contributes a little bit to why people feel more comfortable going as fast as they do. They feel like there might be more room for error when really there's not. I also feel like I have bad luck sitting there. It seems to be more often than not that the days that I choose to go work that area, it's not quite to the extent that I know that it normally is.
Look at the traffic data, and then you can sometimes.
We put out the radar trailer periodically on Holly too, which seems to help for a couple days, but just like with anything else, I mean, people realize there's no consequence to it. It's just another thing they're going to look at. And continue driving fast.
If I can add one more thing, don't you think, because one of the things we've talked a little bit about is, you know, those digital speed signs that tell you how fast you're going, and those, I firmly believe they change behavior. And don't you think with one of those on each side of the street on Holly would be a good investment?
Yeah.
If we are not eligible at this time to have sidewalks and crosswalks and ADA ramps. So you can't have all those things until you have the presence of the sidewalks, and they will come, I believe, in time,
Yes.
but they're not here now.
There's one on 13th, Southwest 13th, somewhere between Elm and Ivy. And that one seems like it makes a pretty big impact on people. I mean, they'll see it flash at them. You can see from several car lengths back, people start slowing down. So probably short enough, but I think even if there was one reminder for people in there somewhere along that stretch of
Maybe
road.
that midway section you're talking about.
I don't think it would take 5 speed bumps like you were saying.
Yeah, they're a lot more cost effective and they have tremendous data. I don't know if you realize that those digital speed signs, they collect the number of cars, the speeding, the time of the day. So really that information can be reviewed by the police And that really helps them identify, because a lot of times you have the repeat offenders that will think they can just blast through in the middle of the night. And so it really helps you to.
So those are pretty expensive too, though.
They're not bad. I mean, given the size of the problem and the size of the growing community, they're an essential investment in my view. They were about $6,000 a pop, aren't they? And I would say that that would be, in my view,
Yeah.
something we need to pursue, one for each side, and
I agree.
sooner rather
I
than later.
agree.
It is something that you can get right away while you guys think about the speed bumps. I'm all about that. But yes. we
I know
just
that
need
since I lived in
something.
Candy 44 years ago, the territorial used to be kind of like a freeway. There was nobody paid any attention to what that was when you come off 99. But now I've gone in and out territorial many times and everybody's doing 30 miles an hour. They have really
Yeah.
slowed down coming off and on because
Yes.
there's plenty of
I've
warning
noticed
signs.
that
State
too.
signs have really improved behavior
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And then as North Redwood built out, our committee campaigned hard for a four-way stop there at North Redwood and Territorial. And that has allowed the people that want to turn onto Territorial, from Redwood, just say turning left, a whole lot easier now that, because stop signs are not a traffic calming device, but it really improved the safety. I think.
More of a control, so people take their turns getting out into the street there, and it's a safe way to do it, yeah.
And probably, as time marches on, we get sidewalks and crosswalks, ADA ramps, and the north 10, near the Northwoods development is more built out. I would speculate that I would foresee a four-way stop at 10th and Holly. I mean, that would seem like
That's what I don't want,
Consideration
is
and-
the stop signs, because that to me is going to bring a lot of congestion in my area, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
don't want,
so
I want the traffic moving.
we've got great discussion going, but we do have other business and we appreciate you coming in and sharing all of this. We can't solve it today, unfortunately, but.
It should be on a future.
Yeah.
agenda.
I
This is
I
kind of-
personally applaud your
Yeah.
efforts here
Yes.
and data you've assembled.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
I'm
thank you.
actually one of your neighbors as well, but I'm
Yeah.
sheltered because I'm on 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
you're
I
right.
realize, getting out on Holly, watching traffic go by. Aurora has an interesting way of rewarding people who go the speed limits. Have you been by there?
Yeah, their sign is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good job.
you go by the speed limit sign and it says, you're cool, they're gonna give you a little bit
Oh,
of
that's
a incentive.
Good
I've
fun.
never seen that one.
So you're welcome to stay and listen to the rest of the meeting, or you can go.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I feel like
Thank you
we're
all
kind
for
of
your
working
time.
together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Thank you for
Hey,
your
Rusty, did you fill out that thing with your
Yeah.
email address?
Yeah.
Then
Everybody sign in.
then the chair can email you when this appears
Tina
on the
knows
future.
who I am.
Yeah, but I just, for protocol, we take in information, and then you'll be invited to come and have this discussion.
Okay, great.
We appreciate your
Awesome.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just a little quick piece of information, so the city is working on the transportation systems plan. The TSP is what I would refer to, and I'll double check that you guys are slated for sidewalks and bicycle lanes. I expect you probably are already on there, is what they want to expand that, but I'll double check it for you.
I'll turn my front yard so that you can put in sidewalks.
But I'll double check, I'm pretty sure it would have made the cut, and that's fine.
Thank you,
I'll
Spencer.
sort it,
Yeah,
but
appreciate that.
I'll double check.
Thanks for
Thank you.
getting it all loaded up for us.
Thanks for hearing us.
You
bet.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for showing up for
And
our community.
I
helping
claim
me
to back
safe.
up part of he was
you.
part of the but he was sort of banned from our community.
Was that Bob?
He was involved, had speed bumps on
Bob.
her.
Bob Baxter, he was a band, he retired and moved to Florida.
So his daughter was
Chase.
his daughter was my neighbor.
Oh.
I had heard it all, and so I remember.
Yeah, Joey just lived a couple of doors down from me, I think.
Yeah, she's my neighbor, so he told us about all that, and I'm like, they are annoying, but it slows everything down.
We lovingly call them the Baxter Bombs.
Thank you all for your time,
Thank you.
appreciate you all.
All right, old business. We had a couple of the haters who were, came in about the Sequoia Parkway concerns at Township.
Seems like we addressed that, didn't we?
Yeah,
Sometime
that's been,
with the communication with the
itself.
company.
resolved itself.
I think so. wasn't here for the last meeting, and I think everyone just went through and did everything without telling me, so I'm not sure.
If I remember right, it seemed like Jerry Nolzine commented on that, and he felt as though there'd been communication with the contractors.
Okay.
And felt like that was being addressed.
Perfect. Okay, the Canby truck routes, not being clearly marked. It's kind of an ongoing discussion on how we can do that. I know we talked about some field trips. We didn't get to them.
Well, actually, if I can interrupt on this one too, it seemed like, Gary, there was someone you were gonna reach out to do a review of our.
Yeah, Greg Del Ponte, he was with ODOT, and there again, we have state, county, and city, and where one merges the other one, they don't want to take responsibility, and there's no way of bringing a truck scale or an inspection station on Knightsbridge, where we really need it the most. If anybody goes past that Barlow Junction and Knightsbridge, they're the ones that should be pulled over, or be pulled over. And that's.
What
it's-
about that corner? There's that sharp corner. It seems like there's
Once they
area to
get-
pull them over
They're
there.
they're at the point of no return there. And I'm sympathetic towards the trucking industry, but then again, they don't belong on Knightsbridge.
But you can get them at that first corner, because then there is Barlow.
Mhm, yeah, if you.
So you would, if you got them there before they got to
Postal waste
Barlow.
area there, and that
Yeah.
keeps walking
Metro
out.
owns it now. It's owned by Metro now.
Oh, is it?
Supposed to be sold out like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it's, there's an education here. You gotta market a lot clearer. You come through there and the kind of weather we had, guys don't see that Canby truck outside, you don't see it. And then it's not that we're gonna give up on it, but it's just frustrating that there's nothing being done as far as the county goes. So that's what's happened. County isn't Knightsbridge County up to our city limits.
Up to the, just past the bridge,
Past the bridge.
up the hill, yeah. But, now that I'm thinking about it, when we're bringing it up, I don't remember if after the reconstruction of the bridge, if the weight restrictions have been lifted for that bridge, because Knightsbridge is a truck route to then go up Holly to get up and out of town.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if because I know that was part of the bridge project was fixing
Bring up the load
efficiency,
capacity.
bring the load capacity back up. So Knightsbridge itself is a truck route to Holly Street
Okay.
to then go out.
So Holly's part of the truck route?
Yes.
That seems really,
It's a collector.
yeah, it almost seems like we should shoot them on down and make them hit 99, and, it's a little longer, but it's rerouting through the
Where it
neighborhood.
would be is mostly the Montecos farmers out that way, is that's their route to get to I-5, because we don't really want them to try to come on Ivy Street or on Grant or Elm or anywhere else in the downtown core. So that's why the intersection is large at Knightsbridge and Holly. That's why. So
The newcomers, all they see once, all right, they cross the bridge, they're legit to do that until they change the signs on the approach to it. But the signage, okay, you're going down Knightsbridge, no trucks here, no trucks there, no trucks here, no trucks here, until we get to, yeah, okay. I can live with that.
Are the size of the signs adequate in your
No.
view from the truck
Not even
perspective?
in your eyes, no. I took a picture of the Marion County sign on the dime, and it's very vivid, yellow and black. It's, I don't know if it's lit up or not, but it's a large sign.
it is a large sign. It's probably close to the size of the calendar.
Yeah, it's a good size, yeah, it's a great sign.
But I think a lot of that also has to do with, this is the bad part of towns as they grow, where the street, when it was just small residential, and now it's turned into more of a collector street or something like that, where there's not really a place to put a sign like that in city limits.
I think the weak link is trying to get to, what is it now, Luann, and what's the, battery builder.
Oh,
Oh,
Rural, yeah, Luann. So it's not.
Ruan.
It's
Ruan is like the
Trucking
trucking company, but
company.
Clarios.
Yeah,
There
there
it is, yeah.
There we go. So, you know, these guys are trying to get to that.
Yeah.
There's no way.
And their route is supposed to be to come up, off of Elm
Hmm,
and 99, go to Third and then over.
you're right.
That is their
There's a
route.
route.
So your friend, sorry, to interrupt, your ODOT friend is
Yeah.
gonna look at it and give his 2 cents?
I gotta get hold of him.
Yeah, if he would, that'd be, and then
He's
invite him to
with-
a meeting and have him.
He's with, he is with the Oregon Trucking Association now.
Size of the sign is very, very important. I was sharing with Clint before the meeting. We've had our concerns over the intersection of 99E and South End Road. And I've traveled that route on South End for the past 26 years. Up until sometime in the last week or so, Clackamas County has had to go out repeatedly at the S curves on South End coming toward 99. They put up small chevrons, they put up white reflective stakes, and the cars will not go 15 mile an hour through that S curve. They go up the embankment, tear down all the chevrons and the standards that are there. Monday of this week, I went through, and they have extremely large signs, extremely large chevrons and arrows, signs on both sides of the road. It really gets your attention.
And he showed me pictures of
It's like, I wish I'd taken pictures before, because the after is so overwhelmingly impressive on what they've done there. So the county is aware we've got issues at 99E and South End. Because, and they know that they contribute to it with people coming down South End at high rates of speed in a hurry, much like we have on Holly.
Okay, we're gonna kind of move along because the presentation was, took up quite a bit of time. We have the overgrown shrubs on Holly and 10th blocking the stop sign.
Door hangers have been placed out.
And also on 9th and Holly, same thing.
Yep.
And then we had Jeannie Jameson with concerns about the speed on Ivy.
Yeah, if I can chime in on that
Yeah.
one. Spencer, she was really pounding the table on a strong desire to get that speed limit from 99 to the river down to 30 miles an hour. We're hoping you could give us an update on it.
So from the IGA that we have with the county is, once the project is closed out and completed of South Ivy, that the city takes ownership of the road, and then we can go through and request the speed study. And even though all of the work has been completed, talking with the county, as it sounds like they are waiting to actually close the project and get it off their books, kind of a thing, and that will probably be this summer.
Right on until the summer.
Yes.
Wow.
So they have a warranty period and everything else. So as long as it's an open project on the county, it's still technically their road.
Jerry was going to see if there's any way for us to put a new notice of a speed reduction to 40 when you're further down the road before you come into Canby. So before you hit the bridge heading north into Canby, just to kind of warn people, hey.
Yes, once the speed study or speed reduction happens and everything else, then we would have to work with the county on.
Okay, but we still have to wait for everything, so it's still a summer situation.
As far as last update I heard.
Okay. Did Jerry bring up anything about investigating if we could put sidewalks in at Ivy 16th and or Ivy 18th?
Oh, and then a crosswalk at 18.
I've not talked with him about that one,
Okay.
so
Fine.
I will, yes.
Okay. And then on the new business that was brought to us at the last meeting was over there in front of Eccles.
Can I interrupt on that one too? Is there any way you can pull that up on the board? Because there's I just want to understand this, because it's right in front of Eccles School.
On the Fifth Avenue site?
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
on the other
Yeah.
side of Douglas, they're right in front of
Yeah.
everything.
I was gonna ask, is it necessary that buses park at that stop sign? It seems insane. Because if you're coming up to that stop sign and a bus is parked there, you can't see the stop sign.
And that's what matters when there's kids, is when the bus is probably.
And
too.
it negates the crosswalks altogether. Is that where they load and unload kids?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Why in
it
the
seems
world do they
like,
use the parking lot in the back?
Well, because that's the front door and there's small children.
They couldn't put their stop sign out like they do with normal
or if they,
safeties.
or if they move, they just don't let them go right up to that right front one. I mean, they've got the buses that are sitting back a little further, they just don't allow them to pull right up to the stop sign because it does completely block that.
When the buses are there, they almost always have crossing guards out there with the students as well, when they're loading and unloading.
What do you think? I mean, one of the concerns that the Geigers had was, people just going through, they're just not stopping. What do you all think? What do you specifically think? Officer Davis would be there.
Well, what we're seeing here is not what is currently existing. The stop on the pavement no longer is there. It's completely obliterated.
Once we got the most recent complaint from Jerry, there was a handful of us that sat there for a couple hours each day. And I did see a couple people run it. Most of them, unfortunately, are parents that just drop their kid off out where the bus is parked and then pull along the road and just continue right through the stop sign. I didn't see anybody egregiously do it, where it's, I'm concerned about a kid getting mowed down in the middle of the road. It's still not safe, but most of them were, a couple miles an hour at most going past the schools. It's usually when there's a lot of foot traffic because of the students.
Is this the only portion of that intersection that's the problem is?
At least that I saw, it was always traffic going this direction from where we're facing now. Not so much coming the other way.
From what Jerry shared last month with us, they see them coming in the opposite direction as well, going
Okay.
through the stop sign. And there's no buses parked in front of the stop sign.
Were citations issued on this?
A couple of them.
Jerry, if I could interrupt, Spencer, if I could interrupt, what do you think of those stop flaps? In your view, do those, are they worthwhile?
Personally, no. Whenever we put them in, it takes probably a week and they no longer have the vibrant color to them. And then after about a month and a half, 2 months, they kind of rattle loose and we're always out there having to try to re-secure them.
So if you had to solve this problem, what would you guys do?
I know that at one point in time, we did have a crosswalk right here in front of the buses. The school asked us to remove that. And they only wanted to promote school crossing on the other side. I think if there's a conversation you had with the school district on, maybe, I don't know how many buses and how far back around the corner that they would wrap. But if they could shift back a little bit, give that a little bit more of a, so it's not right there before you see the stop sign
That would
itself.
seem good. Maybe shift back the length of a bus.
Yeah,
From this perspective here,
Paint the curve.
can some buses be forward?
What do you mean?
I would, if you
Where
put
the other
buses
buses-
on the other side of the intersection,
Oh, I see.
you were sitting out there, is that usually where parents?
I sat just to the left of where the cursor is right now on.
Okay.
But yeah, ahead of the buses, it was pretty much lined with cars
Yeah.
on both sides of the street, so.
Yeah,
It seems like the buses maybe are arriving first
Mhm.
before the parents.
Well, the
Which
school
way?
puts out a couple signs in the mornings, letting them know that there's gonna be buses parking there, so people don't park in those spaces. But as best I remember, it was pretty jam-packed through there, with parents and faculty and.
and those flashing stop signs like they have at Pine, I think those cost about $2,000. don't they?
I believe so, yes.
And do you think that would solve the problem or help the problem?
If the bus is currently blocking the sign,
Yeah.
then I don't know that adding a flasher to the
Yeah.
sign, if you couldn't see it beforehand.
Do they just blink all the time or are they motion activated?
No, they blink all the time.
Tracy, how do you get the attention of the school district?
Well, we can
Because it seems like that's
Talk
a
to,
really poor
Jennifer.
place to park the bus, because the bus towers over cars. I mean, if that was a car lane where cars would park, pick up their, or drop off their little ones, you could see over the car. But the buses, you can't see over. It's terrible.
Is that the position of the commission? Is I can go have a conversation with Jennifer.
Yeah.
Can we paint the stop? Can we do the paint for the stop like it was before?
Yeah, I think we could, I'll drive it back out there. Is just the stop faded or is the stop bar itself gone as well?
I don't recall. I
Okay.
know that when I driven by there recently, you
Yeah,
have to have very good vision, let's say.
Yeah.
To be able to see that on another way.
I would,
There should be a motion, a second, and vote on what you guys want us to do.
I would like to make a motion that the city talk to the school district and recommend that they consider parking their buses back a full bus length distance to improve the traffic safety at this intersection,
And the safety of the students.
the safety of the students.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
I,
Opposed?
And as a first step, I think we really should just repaint the stop on the ground. Just to-
Gina, do you recommend a visit? I mean, I could, I'm sorry I hadn't gotten out to the group
Yeah,
about that, or do you think that,
well, I think that if we can get that painted, I think that.
they didn't get the buses to be relocated, that'd be so.
At least start the conversation, and see
Yeah.
if they're open to it.
It seems like a pretty easy fix unless they have a darn good reason why they have to have them all the way up. Just one bus going back is what you're looking for?
Yep.
You know,
Okay.
or they can
And we
make
can
those,
paint the curb to remind them of that once they agree to it.
or in front of that front bus, if all that along there was a bus loading and unloading zone.
It's in the middle of the intersection though.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
curb has a bump out right through there.
Yeah. Yeah, that would cause any problems.
Well, they do have an interest in our children getting their exercise.
you know, they can get that extra 30 steps in.
Well, the buses could put on their four-way flashers before we discharging the kids. And pick them up.
Well,
You see the lights.
I had a thought, and I don't know if they're allowed to, but like, could the buses put out their stop sign?
That's what I'm, yeah.
But then that would back everybody up and no one could get through.
Yeah, I
and they
don't-
didn't want to allow them to get through.
I don't think anybody would drive past it. I think they would think they're doing the right thing by staying there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, but that just causes some problems.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good first step toward that.
Okay,
Good job.
all right. Do you have any updates on?
November wasn't terribly busy, which was great. We only had 173 citations. Typically, we're somewhere between 200 and 300 per month. We also only had 6 DUI arrests, which is a little bit below normal, especially with the holiday. I expected that it would be a little bit higher, so that was nice. We had 14 crashes in the month of November, though, which was quite a bit. A couple of them were not serious injury crashes, but a little bit more significant, which is fender benders. We only had 10 traffic complaints, which is quite a bit less than we typically get. A couple of them were from North Holly. It's pretty, I think that's gonna be the next place we're gonna put the radar trailer out next week. It's gonna be on Holly somewhere. We were waiting to see how it's gonna go on 10th, and then we were gonna try and put it out on 10th, just I'm sure that'll be a drag strip now that it's all nice and neatly paved and looks so nice through there. We are next week on Thursday, we're hosting the monthly interagency traffic missions. There's gonna be deputies and officers from 7 to 8 different departments in Canby, all day on Thursday doing traffic enforcement. I've highlighted a couple of the areas we've already talked about today in the email that I sent out to all of them. So there'll be plenty of people on Holly and plenty of people on 10th.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
It was either Jackie or Deanna that posted some scoundrel in a commercial truck abandoned
Yes.
a crummy looking fifth wheel over there near the Zion Cemetery. And I see it's tagged. So when that's tagged, what does that
Typically, it's a notice saying, I think it's 72 hours you have after the tag's been placed to move it, or it will be towed at the owner's expense. But the issue with that is they removed any identifying markers from that trailer. It was very intentionally dumped there, knowing that the city would have the obligation to do something with it. But because it, one, is a fifth wheel and not just something they can load on a tow truck, and two, the tow yards don't typically take things like that, it's gonna be about $10,000 the city would have to pay to remove and dispose of that. Chris Ann has been dealing with it pretty much every day. We were able to get video from a nearby business of a semi dropping it off there. And we think we've maybe kind of figured out who it belongs to.
These are consequences, they can lose their commercial driver's license for doing it, couldn't they?
If it's, yes, yeah. So
I guess
it's
so,
not, it's not the first time, if it is the same individual, if that's happened. So we're trying to do everything, or Chrisanne's trying to do everything she can to avoid the city having to pay for that. It's kind of a last resort, just because that seems unfair that tax dollars be spent on somebody's garbage.
Is this a fifth wheel trailer for hauling cars or? is it
No, it's
residential?
just, it's probably a
Camping.
30-year-old camping
Camping.
fifth wheel. It's probably about a 30 footer, it's a pretty big one.
And it probably has a value of nothing, doesn't it?
It's filled with garbage almost to the roof, leaking, it needs to be just torn apart whenever it gets.
Where does something like that go? I mean, if the city did have to pay the fee to have it taken away, where would it actually sell?
Probably to, I would assume first, probably have to go to some hazardous material disposal company, just because of all the electrical and who knows what else is inside there. But that was a base estimate, so she's trying to work with some people at the district attorney's office that have connections with some more specialized stuff for things like that that aren't as common that need to be disposed of.
So it's not even in a conditions hard to be labor this, but like where a lot of times the fire department will, people do their training drills where they'll rescue someone from a car. I mean, you'd need a dumpster to unload all the contents, and then if it was placed, if they would even be willing to take it, and then use it as a rescue.
I got a fun fact for you about all trailers and kind of fifth wheel kind of stuff. They used asbestos in the flooring until 2007.
And I actually
To get rid of.
talked to one of the lieutenants of the fire department about that, just trying to think outside the box.
Yeah.
The issue that they have is that when they get cars from the impound lot to do their practice on, they destroy the car and then they send it back, and they'll still dispose of it because they get money for crushing it, or you know, whatever they can do. It doesn't really change anything. But the disposal companies will not take that fifth wheel. So it's gonna have to be, regardless of where it goes, it's gonna have to be somewhere that we don't normally send just cars.
I understand. Thanks for that update.
Yeah. So that's sort of-
So didn't it used to be back in the day that when you put the sign, the little trailer out with the speed, letting people know that there actually could be photo radar where they actually could be ticketed?
Yep, and part of that, Tracy would probably know better than I would, but I know a lot of that has to get approved through, if it's something where it's not a monitored camera, because most, I mean, there's traffic cameras that just get you with the computer, and then there's the vans that actually have somebody sitting inside there taking a picture. And that would have to be like a paid position where the city would have to fund somebody being willing to come and do that. No,
Do we have a van such as that we could do?
no. we
Yeah,
don't.
that's kind of been, I mean, in the perfect world, that's what I'd like to see, but I don't think, our chief is in favor of those, and until he's really open to that, I don't want to be disrespectful and try to keep foisting it on.
I just was like, man, if we had one of those sitting over there on
I know.
Holly, maybe that would, you know, people getting some citations.
Change behavior.
I mean, there are the signs that are on Holly, I think it says speed strictly enforced, like there's a couple more that aren't on the normal, that people drive through.
But
every
is
day.
it strictly enforced?
As much as I can, yeah.
There gets to be that, whatever, you know, just like people park wherever they want to, because it's after 5, she's not here,
Yeah.
you know, so it's people's behavior, you know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Gary.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, I beat up the same old drum, you know.
Wait, I can interrupt.
Oh, wait a minute, I skipped.
Public Works.
I skipped, yes, I was, yes.
We were talking about that earlier. Brains are fried.
Brains are fried, okay, Public Works.
I will go quick.
But I can't see it, it hasn't scrolled up.
Oh, no, so for, I can't remember how long ago it was, but, this body made a motion for us to look into getting the speed feedback signs for Holly Street. We got prices back, unfortunately, for this budget cycle. We wouldn't have the funds to be able to do it. So I am planning on putting that in the budget for next budget cycle for those.
You don't need a motion for that.
It never hurts to have a motion to purchase those, but at this time, I think,
Yeah.
I'm kind of squared away on that one, but I just wanted to give a quick update
What's
on
the
that one.
time frame for the next budget cycle?
Would be July 1 is when.
July 26th.
But the conversations start in April.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Can I interrupt? Tracy, do you think it's necessary that we make a motion for 2 digital speed signs for that?
It doesn't ever hurt the department directors to have some
Formal recommendation.
some formal recognition that this is a needed item for them to put it in their budget. It never hurts.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that in the next budget cycle, we budget for 2 digital speed signs, very much like the ones in Donald and Aurora, for dedicated for North Holly Street.
All in favor?
I
Opposed? Okay, there you go.
Do we need
Well,
an
then if I can
amendment
ask one more
to
question.
call it the, July 26 budget, like, that's specific for?
No, just as long as it's in the next budget.
If I could interrupt one more time, going back to in front of the actual school, one of the safety measures that the police department and the public works have done in the past is putting those little orange triangles at the top of the stop signs. Do you feel like those are effective?
I think so, at least for a while, just, it's something different.
What
They're
do you
not,
think about that, Spencer, at that intersection to try to really grab people's attention?
Trying to think on. I think it still would come back to if the current issue with the bus being stopped or parked at the stop sign, you still wouldn't see it until you were already there. And you could probably correct me, but I think most parents are aware that there is a stop sign there. I think most people avoid that area because I wasn't here for it, but it was the discussion mostly just about when school was getting in and out.
No,
it's
all the time. Okay.
All the time.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people go through there all the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And good job on all your projects and the Christmas in the park, everything is really top drawer.
Yeah, we did have the tree lighting last Friday. It was very well attended. Luckily, the rain held off, but the wind was blowing things all over the place.
Oh, dear. I'm glad it's not all boots here.
Yeah. For the, 'cause I know this has been brought up before with the school zone on South Ivy, right across from the signs and graphics. Right now, the sign is pushed back into the arborvitae hedge. I don't know why, but the county is adamant that there's not a sign in the sidewalk like we would do in a lot of other places. And since we technically don't have complete jurisdiction of that road yet, we're not supposed to be moving that sign, but don't be shocked if the sign gets moved out anyway, because they kind of finished their punch list and I don't think they're gonna come.
I was gonna tell you about that the light on that sign in particular is blinking weird.
It's
A couple people asked about it.
with where it's tucked in, it's not getting sunlight required, so the battery is dying almost daily. And so
Like very quickly and then stays
yeah,
off. for a while.
we've replaced the batteries and there's just too much covering the solar panel. So that was kind of the final straw.
So
for
that
me.
should
It's like
correct itself too then.
I don't know if we're gonna wait for getting full jurisdiction. Yes, yeah.
Yes.
And then the other thing is, I don't know if you guys have already talked about it, but the crossings on Ivy itself, where the crosswalks were, it used to have a lot of striping for the crosswalks. A lot of those were removed due to, we had worked with, one, the county's engineers as well as the school district on trying to channelize where the kids are crossing. Unfortunately, the push button crossing that was at Ivy Township is not currently on or working, and we are working on trying to get that back up and going. All the infrastructure is there, but until the light itself can get turned on. So we are currently working on another pedestrian crossing study, working with the school district on where the best places that they want to see kids crossing, as well as where we want to see kids crossing. So there's still a chance that we might reinstall the old push button crossings that were taken off of there. So I know that at one point in time, there was a motion to relocate those over to 13th. And
13th and Fir.
Yep. And so currently we're kind of waiting to see how this study goes for the pedestrian crossings on Ivy, to see if we need to relocate those ones on Ivy itself. Just wanted to give a heads on that one.
Seems like right there at Third.
Third is the one that
where
everyone's.
everybody seems to cross. That's where I notice I see,
Yep.
and I'm stopping
Yep.
often
Yeah.
for people to cross there, but there's no.
Ideally, I think we would like to get them back up to the township. But I know that there are a lot of kids that if they're walking down township, they'll start cutting through.
Or they're coming out of that street.
Yeah, they come off of
They're,
there.
yes,
to
they're
get-
coming off of there, they're not gonna walk up to township to cross to come back down.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Once
take the
upon a
shortcut.
time, there was a pedestrian island that was slated for Third and Ivy that never really
Yeah.
made it to fruition, but a lot of high schools cross there.
So anyway, that was the couple of things on that.
I got a couple things for you, Spencer. These
Okay.
were from Jerry last time. He was going to request to have the original engineering team review the semi-turn radius off of 99 and onto streets like Ivy, Grant, now.
I will double check because
They can't make it and back up onto 99, so we wanted to look at that a bit more. Also on 99 near Juniper, we were gonna find out if ODOT ever intended to do anything more with the mysterious pedestrian items in the 199.
Go on.
Yes.
Go on, isn't
And those were the ones that we didn't already talk about. Well, there's the speed reduction on 99 that we recommended. We were gonna try and coordinate with everybody about extending the 45 mile an hour.
touch on the-
I have an update on that once my head.
Oh. Okay. Anything else, Spencer?
That's it for me.
Okay. Brianna?
Good morning, everyone. No big project updates. Planning Commission this past Monday was a TSP technical memo discussion. I wasn't able to attend, but I'm hoping Jenny might give us some info on that. Really interesting memo, though, that DKS put together and Ryan and Dawn discussed with PC. So other than that, there's no more Planning Commission hearings this year. We're not going to have one the week of Christmas, obviously. So that's came up really quick. Let's see, we're still down a planner. The interviews are starting today, actually. So we're hoping by the end of the year, we at least know who may be joining our team. It'll be nice to have a counterpart again. I'm the only associate planner right now. I attended the Bike Ped Citizen Advisory Committee last night. Randy and Chief Tro, Randy, our interim city administrator, also attended, and they discussed e-bike safety and logging road trail etiquette. So they would like to get their website page updated with some etiquette tips about the trail. And there's one other thing about that. Oh, Spencer, not to put you on the spot, but I was wondering how close to finishing the logging road trail connection that's just next to Fred Meyer. I saw that they were making good progress, but then the rains might have stopped something, or do you know about that?
We're pretty close to being at completion. I know that they were planning on starting the fence last week.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know exactly what the timeline is for completing the fence. But other than that, it's just a matter, I think, of getting the fence up and then getting the lights.
Lighting, yeah. Great. Yeah, they were just a little bit worried about potential erosion and whether there's going to be any plantings there, or, if there was any thought to that. So.
No, we're getting all that taken care of too.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been pretty quick progress over there, so I'm excited to see it. Other than that, I think that's all for me, unless there are questions.
I had a couple. Are there any prospects to go into the old JV Northwest in the industrial park for their empty building?
We haven't seen anything come through yet.
Okay. Oh, there's about 14 to 1,600 Denny's across the country, and they announced they're going to close about 150 of them nationwide. I wondered if that might impact the candy.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about it. No.
I doubt it. The one that is here in Canby is
Pretty
owned by
productive, isn't it?
the same franchisee as the one that owns the one in Woodburn. And if nothing else, the bar keeps them busy, so I think they're fine.
And the last question is, any prospects for the old Candy rental locations?
No, that's been surprisingly quiet, to be honest. I thought we would have heard something by now about someone who may want that space, but we haven't.
I reached out to Susan when it first went empty, asking some questions, and they didn't seem like they were in any hurry to do anything.
That's a house record too. The owner doesn't even know what they're gonna do with it yet, so it's not a hot button for them.
I kind of thought that there might be some option for some off-street parking there, if they would let the city use some of the area would be kind of nice, but I don't know if that's an option.
Thank you, Brianna.
Yeah, thank you.
The TSP draft fund, it reminded me something I wanted to share with you guys and ask Spencer too. So I wanted to kind of confirm some of the road designations that we have for our busier streets like Holly, Territorial, et cetera, are what they should be. But because as we go through this TSP process, it's primarily about identifying projects that need to happen that are important and saying how much it would cost, and then having a prioritization of how to address trying to get through that. We don't have nearly enough money to get through everything that needs to happen. But what I thought we could potentially help is, I was wondering if you had an easy map of the existing road designations, or if it was your request from PKS. And I was curious if PKS has, or so this might be something you have access to, Brianna, is just something that defines the volumes for the different types of roads. Because we have a lot of data from our studies about, say we have something like 32,000 cars on Holly in a matter of 5 days. It might qualify for a higher level street designation than it currently has. And where that ends up being important is as things develop over time, the code specifies that if you're X kind of street, you need to have so much space between driveways and intersections and everything else to make it safer. And so that's where I was thinking it would be worth a quick double check that we don't have any major roads that previously were kind of considered low-level volume streets that maybe actually need to be recategorized. Because they did not, DKS did not do like a full assessment of the roads and their designations. So we don't call it out, it's gonna stay the same as it's been for the last 30 years.
I believe it would all be listed in our existing TSP. So you might be able to find it faster.
Is that truly from 2010?
Yes.
Yeah, we might need a little updating.
Yep.
Okay, And I'm pretty sure the designation rolled over from one to
No. Yeah, like a lot of the things have changed here since 2010.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay, all right. Ms. Hensley.
Thank you. I do have a couple of things. First, I've been seeing a lot of Facebook fodder about the project on Sequoia Parkway. It is absolutely not Amazon, if anybody in here does not understand that yet. So make sure you tell people that you see posts incorrectly. It's a speculative project. We don't know who's moving in there. Brianna can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it can host 1 to 7 tenants, but we don't have any idea who any of those people might be yet. I do believe this traffic situation was brought to us. That couple did come to council regarding the noise variance, and they complained about the traffic then too, but I believe that Jerry had said that it kind of corrected itself. So those trucks aren't queuing in that lane anymore. So unless they come back and say something's different, I think you guys can consider that a closed piece. I wanted to also update on the 99E and South End idea of extending that speed limit to from 45 all the way. I had dinner with some elected officials in the county last week, and so I spoke with Commissioner Savas and Mayor Hodson because they both meet with the Region 1 Act person from ODOT regularly. And Commissioner Savas, he felt it would be more appropriate and more respectful than to go through councils and make it all official and all this stuff, at least at first, to have him and Mayor Hodson go speak with the ODOT representative about the situation and kind of put the bug in their ear and get it rolling that way. And then if he doesn't get anywhere, he'll get back to me and we can make things a little more official, a little more punch behind
But
it.
everybody was on board with the idea.
They both loved the idea, and then in fact, on our way home, because our meeting was in Oregon City, I talked to Mayor Hudson about where that change should happen, and I told him, and in my vision, I was thinking, I'm thinking somewhere past South End, somewhere like by Pearson's. And so driving home, I called him, I'm like, where are you? He had left yet, and I'm like, okay, well, you're coming behind me, so tell me what you think of this. Because just past Pearson's, there's where it visually comes down to one lane. So it's a natural place for it to start right there. And so I said, look at that, tell me what you think. So that's kind of, I think, what we're gonna go with, and we're gonna try and do it sidebar. If we need a motion, a second, and all the things through all the committees, we'll go there, but Commissioner Savas thought that this would be a better way to try it first. But they were totally on board with it.
Great.
Is it a good time for me to add to that?
Sure, because I only have one more little thing.
Okay, I was just gonna say that since our last meeting, I had reached out to Chief Trove and, regarding the speed data that we got from ODOT regarding the crashes. And, I had reached out to Chief Davis, who was concerned about where Madrona Lane comes in to 99. And so Chief Trove steered me to ODOT. And ODOT acknowledged my email, and they're having one of their speed people do an assessment of that area. So I'll share that as soon as they get back with me, and that'll help build the case.
Okay.
Because I think that is going to be significant.
Okay, well, and I'll share when, I don't know if it'll happen because of the holidays and stuff, it'll probably be a January conversation, but if they do happen to talk to him and stuff, I'll let you know. But yeah, Commissioner Savas was like, oh yeah, I'll totally talk to him. I can talk to him next week. And I was like, well, let's figure out where it's gonna be first. So yeah, hopefully we can get some movement on that soon. The other thing I had was a reminder that the city's doing another Civic Engagement Academy from January to June this year. Sign-ups are right now on the website. It's like, I think, the second Thursday of each month. I know it's a Thursday, I think it's the second Thursday. 6 to 8-ish p.m. and it'll vary which building they hosted in each time, or so if the last time, but if you didn't participate last time, I encourage you to this time because it was well attended and people enjoyed it. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Last night I noticed some trees over by Bird Parkway on the corner. It looked like some trees went down. I wasn't sure if it was from the wind with the weather or if the city just had to take down some trees.
Is it right there on that, where that green strip is above the
Yeah.
park?
Yeah,
I don't believe they were doing any pre-work over there yesterday, so I
Okay.
will double check.
I just noticed that when I was coming home last night, I was like, whoa, was this from the wind or what happened? So, I wanted to just bring it up. And then, just want to thank, Spencer and the team for doing a good job with the, tree lighting and everything at Wake Park. And really appreciate also the feedback when things are going on in the community, finding that on all the avenues of not just our traffic safety page thing, but also like Canby now and different feedbacks that we have on Facebook. A lot of communication to try to share what's going on with the police department, fire department, and trying to keep everyone informed. So, but I appreciate all the work, because that's a lot that goes in that people don't always see, and
I will pass that on to the.
yeah, yeah.
Now, Gary, you get to talk.
Well, I think we've heard about all of it. We're all covering the same pages, and I know we all have our special interests. And I do feel sorry for people that live in on Holly. They have to back into their driveway, so when they pull out, they're not blindsided. There's their choice, of course, but that is a situation I think we're all involved with.
Thank you. I just have actually kind of a question for Council President Hensley and Spencer. And I was just wondering, you know, we have a lot of wishes for digital speed signs and things like this. We were activated a grant writer to, you know, reach out, because we're a growing community, and we care a lot about our citizens, and we want to have safety measures in place where we can, and city budgets are tight, and just in an effort to try to help fund some of these digital signs and things.
I don't know if we have anyone going for those type of grants.
Or would any of our members, like say Tom, me and Tom working together, you know, or Jennifer, or anybody else that might want to participate in, identifying the organizations that are interested in making contributions. And I know that one of our previous planning gal, I can't remember her name. She was like really big in the planning. I mean, she was instrumental in getting the grant funding for South Ivy, if I remember right.
Matilda.
Yes, Matilda Dees.
Yeah.
And so why couldn't we use that same method for something like this?
I think that's something that we.
I think it'd be fun to explore that, and
We don't have the grant writer position,
Yeah.
but we do have people that have written grants and received funding for different things.
okay,
like
I think this
for
works well
for
in
CAT, for,
pursuit, yeah.
and then also for the historical preservation, didn't Carol Palmer do some grant writing for that stuff? So I just added it to my list of things to talk to Randy about on my line tomorrow, so
Thank you.
see what we can do about getting some more grant writing happening.
We had a little bit of a budget that we could draw from without having to ask for additional funds from public works. That would be good.
Help the morale of the troops.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
I do. Okay. I've got an update on Third and Grant. We've got that lot that's full of old vehicles and random stuff. The hope was that the tenant would have all the vehicles moved by the end of November, and then they had until the end of December to move the rest of the stuff. They have gone dark and are not responding in any way. They did not move the vehicles. So it's going through the rental company is going through the formal eviction process to get everything removed. I'm not familiar with Oregon's eviction rules, so I don't know what the timeline is for that exactly.
Very long.
Yeah, so it'll just be however long it takes to get through that, but at least that's starting now. So that means at some point there will be a resolution. So,
Gotta start somewhere.
yeah, I'm not shocked that it ended that way. I mean, like, so it's been there for a decade. I was not expecting.
Yeah, it'll probably be there in another year.
Yeah. But, at least there will eventually be some progress. It's on, it's
Was
moving.
there a fifth wheel in that parking lot a couple weeks ago?
I mean, fair question. I mean, there's some that just live there.
I bet if you looked at the aerial of that, you might be able to see if there was one there. Right? Musical cars?
Yeah.
It seems the same to me, but maybe I'm not paying enough attention. And then I was just curious, so Walnut Street, we got the IGA.
We'll have an update at the next council meeting. I haven't been part of there's been a fair amount of development in the last couple of weeks, and I haven't been in a lot of those. So I know that we are still trying to move forward, but we are still doing a fair amount of back and forth with ODOT and the county.
Okay, so at this point, it's distinctly delayed that we don't have permission to start digging in.
We currently do not have a permit or anything from ODOT granting us access on the 99. And the county has decided they won't move anything forward until we have that. So we are going back for our 5th round of review with ODOT. But instead of 70 comments, it was only 30 comments this go around, so we're hopeful.
Yeah.
Will the road become before the stoplight, or will the stoplight come?
I mean, they'll probably be at the same time.
Oh,
Two items. The street marker sign at North Ivy and Northwest Sixth is about to topple off.
Oh, okay.
Second item, I was very disappointed to learn that it will be summer before the IGA with the county is completed on the Ivy. It happened last week to drive by the Lee Philander School at the time they were about to release the students. Previously, we didn't have a center lane configuration on South Ivy. We now do. So it used to be that the wide lanes allowed for parents to park the entire length of the curb all the way up to the swimming center. Now they are parked in the same spot, blocking not only the bike lane, but a reasonable portion of the traffic lane. We have a crossing guard having to stand in the middle of the street on the island in order to allow safety for the children wanting to cross on the sidewalk or on the crosswalk. We cannot even see anyone waiting on the curb to cross. It's a very, very dangerous situation.
I know our school resource officer that's at the middle schools and the elementary schools has talked to the staff and the parents about that, and it seems like it gets better for a week, and then they park there again.
so just a thought. The school district owns all of that land where you've got Ackerman School. Why couldn't there be something punched through that backside parking lot where people could go
Queue
through
up.
there and queue up, and they're not on the road, they're on the school property?
And you just release them back on the northbound Ivy and let them go wherever they need to go.
But they come in off of 13th, go through that way you've got all those cars on the road.
You can make that queue as long and as winding as you
Yes.
need to, and then just back up on them.
Well, if the parents were willing to do it, once the adult community center moves, that entire property is owned by the school district.
But
And there's
there's
a
not-
reasonable amount of parking available even there.
Yeah, but it's not even the parking, it's just a matter of they're lining up, because they're not gonna park, they're gonna line up. If there was a way to come in over by Ackerman and along that way and punch it in kind of where the district building comes, let them be inconvenienced instead of all the people trying to be
I
safe.
don't know if
on
they're
the
running
road.
to get into the school grounds or if the students are meeting them out. I've seen both going on.
I think a lot of them are pulling in, they're just waiting for their turn to get in there. So anyway, it might be, I don't know if when you're talking to Jennifer,
We're in a lot of talks between the city and the school district about that property for a whole host of other ideas, so I don't know.
But even if, like you're
I
saying,
can
if it
add
cuts
it to the
through from
list.
Ackerman and over into that parking lot, like where the offices are, they could easily make a path from Ackerman to the elementary school and have a designated path out that would minimize traffic disruption and make it easy for the kids to load in.
That's all I have. Sorry for the problem.
no worries, they're legitimate.
You didn't create the problem, you're just trying to.
So for me, my thing I think I'm kind of looking at right now is the Bird Parkway and 99E. It would sure be nice to have a left-hand turn signal when you're on Bird Parkway where it's actually designated. That is just like taking your life in your own hands every time you have to cross that intersection. And the amount of traffic that, because of the store and the Dutch Bros and all of that, it's just.
You talking about a crosswalk?
I'm talking about a turn lane light, a left turn signal, because when you come out of the gas station or Walgreens, it's just, it's like a.
The lights at
wild,
the
wild
intersection
west.
are really confusing,
You're
so.
talking about, you're coming from like the Wild Hair and that gas station over
Yeah.
there. And you'd like an arrow dedicated.
I would like it to be an actual turn, that there's an actual turn
Right now,
signal
it's
turning left, because when you're turning, you come out of Safeway or you're coming down 13th that turns into Bird Parkway, and then you're gonna turn left onto 99E, and then you've got the people coming across. It's just,
Across the Walgreens and.
Either way, I mean, if you're on the Space Age Walgreens side,
Yeah.
or you're on the KFC Safeway side, taking a left on the 99, the intersection lights are really confusing about who's gonna be going straight, and there's no like clear indication for the people who are
So
gonna
it's
turn left.
left turn, you'll go on.
but it's
kind of a weird
kind of like the
angle,
Pine
too.
Street one.
Yeah.
So-
It's the Pine Street, we've got them at both ends of 99 that are,
During rush hour, it's fine because there's not that much traffic. And that's why I'm thankful when I'm leaving for work, because I don't need to worry about it. But in the middle of the day, it's a nightmare.
so. That's kind of my only one.
Thank you. You got tremendous time management.
Thank you. Okay, if there's nothing else, meeting adjourned.
Now, the meeting's adjourned unofficially.
Everybody have a very.
If you haven't signed the gas tax referendum petition and want to, it's your last chance and take it post office today. I have it with me, and also the vote before tolls. I have them if you're interested.
Oh, I'll do the full one.